couple of other things. When Alan and I were in Europe on our hitchhiking time, we had a lot of fun things. We did a lot of fun things and a lot of crazy stuff we did. I remember when we were in Jerusalem on Palm Sunday, and the Palm Sunday parade was a celebration of Jesus coming into Jerusalem and people putting palm leaves down for him in front of them and palm branches. And we were standing behind a crowd of people, and we didn't realize, but we were standing in a cemetery. And as we were there, these Arab men started shouting at us and screaming at us, and they all had knives, big long knives that were 12 inches deep. They carried these knives, and they started charging us with these knives. And Alan and I just took off running, and we ran like crazy out of there. And we finally got away, but we didn't know what was going on. And we asked somebody, and they said, well, you're desecrating graves. And so it made sense to us that but we had no idea we were doing this. I remember another time, we were picked up in cars by all kinds of different people. Some people would just take you, 10 miles, or other people would take you 50 miles. And I remember one night we were out on the road in the middle of France, and it was cold, it was dark, it was getting dark. We didn't hitchhike after dark normally, but we were stranded. We couldn't get to the next town where we could stay in a youth hostel, and so we had to sleep outside along the side of the road, and so we slept in a ditch on the side of the road. And thinking back, it was crazy because there were cars whizzing by all night, and we could have easily been killed. Another time we were I think we were somewhere in Yugoslavia or somewhere, and there was a box on the side of the road. No, this was in Sweden, I think. There was a box on the side of the road where they kept salt to put out when the roads iced up. Well, we were there in the summer, and there was no ice pellets in the box, no salt in the box. And so we were late, and we thought, well, we'll get in this box and we'll sleep in this box. And so we slept in the box. And we used to put our feet up on the bottom of the box and move the lid up, and as the cars went by, and we did a lot of crazy stuff. But when we were two young guys traveling together, I remember too another time when we were traveling through Switzerland, and it was late in the day, and an old Swiss guy came by, a long bearded man who was probably 80, and he was in an old car, and we got in the back seat, and he didn't speak any English, and we didn't speak French, or I'm not sure whether it was French or German or what it was he spoke, but anyhow, he tried to figure out where we wanted to go, and we told him where we were going, and at the top of his car, by the rear view mirror, was a sign, Jehovah Jireh. And we said, are you a Christian? And we pointed to the sign, and we said we were believers. And then he started to sing in French, and he sang a lot of songs that we knew. And so we were singing along in French with this old guy. He was singing along in English, and he was singing along in French with this old guy, 80-year-old man. And it was just a time of fellowship, even though we couldn't communicate with each other. So we had lots of fun during those times of travel. Well, after that, we got to Canada and finally came to a mass. One of the men in the church in Canada came up to us one day and he said, "You two fellas should go to Emmaus." And we'd never hardly knew anything about Emmaus, and so he said, "I can get you in." And we said, "Okay, you figure it out." And so he made a call to Emmaus in Oak Park, Illinois, and he said, "You get on the train," and he gave us $50. Got on the train. We didn't fill out an application, didn't do anything, and he said, "You're in. I've got you in." And so we went to Emmaus. We had no idea what we were doing, and all we knew it was a place you studied the Bible, and we wanted to do that. And so that's how we got to Emmaus, and then of course that's how I met Grandma. All right, that's good.